Thanks for joining us on the program, everyone. Tonight on Beyond the Headlines, the Labour Party crisis enters a decisive and deeply political phase. A federal high court in Abuja yesterday ordered INEC to recognize the Senator Nadi Usman-led caretaker committee as the authentic leadership of the Labour Party, citing the Supreme Court April 4 ruling and declaring that Julius Abure's tenure has elapsed. Senator Usman says this judgment ends the crisis and opens the door to reconciliation. The Abure faction, however, disagrees. They're calling the ruling judicial overreach, vowing to appeal and insisting the courts have no power to decide party leadership. But beyond the courtroom drama lies a bigger political question. What does this judgment mean for opposition politics ahead of 2027? With Post-Obi already out of the party, the Labour Party appears to be holding on to just one governor. And there's also the growing accusations of judicial inconsistency and political interference. Is this judgment stabilizing the party or strategically weakening the opposition? Joining me on the program are Ken Asogwa, Senior Special Advisor on Media to Senator Nadi Usman, and Callistus Jagua, who is chairman of the Labour Party in Imo State, aligned with the Julius Abure camp. Gentlemen, welcome. Let's go beyond the headlines. I'd like to begin with Mr. Asogwa, who is in our Abuja studio. Senator Usman says this judgment effectively brings closure to the leadership crisis, but the Abure faction is planning an appeal. On what basis are you confident that this is final? Legally and politically?
Thank you, Nifemi, and thank you, wonderful Nigerians. You see, this matter had already been brought to a close as far back as 4th April last year by the Supreme Court. It's just unfortunate that eventually we found ourselves in the Federal High Court relitigating over a decision that the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the final court in the land, had taken a decision on. Now, I listened to your intro when you said that Julius Abure and his group are saying that they faulted the judgment on account of the fact that the judgment is trying, or that the court tried to choose leadership for political parties. And I can assure you that that is not what the court said. And in a few minutes, in a few moments from now, the certified true copy of that judgment will be made available for Nigerians to see clearly the judgment of that court. The judge clearly said that he aligns with the decision of the Supreme Court and that he is by no means sitting on appeal over a decision that had already been taken by the Supreme Court. That he agrees with the Supreme Court that it is only political parties that have the right to choose their leadership. And that was the decision of the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court went further to state that Julius Abure's tenure had long expired. In short, they went further to caution leaders of political parties that when your tenure expires as leader of a political party, that you should be honorable enough to respect the constitution of your party and give way. These are the things that the judge quoted yesterday copiously from the Supreme Court judgment, and now said that he agrees with the Supreme Court that the judgment that the tenure of Julius Abure had long expired. He's no longer the chairman of the Labour Party. And now he went further because the controversy we had about the Supreme Court judgment was because they didn't make any consequential order directing INEC to accept Senator Nadi Usman as the authentic and valid chairman of the Labour Party. That was the thing that the court made explicit yesterday, that is directing the INEC to henceforth recognize her as the chairman, the authentic leader of the Labour Party. And henceforth, every communication or all communications emanating from the Labour Party should be routed through her leadership. So this is just where we are. And like we said, like you said in your intro, it's not, we are not taunting anybody over this. We're all one family as a Labour Party. We're just trying to make it clear that this is where we are. And we are urging everybody to come on board so that we can rebuild the party going forward.
We'll talk about reconciliation effort because we had Nadi Usman on on our news yesterday, and she mentioned that your faction is opening its arms to others to come in. But let's bring in Callistus Ihejiagua into this conversation. Your camp insists that leadership is an internal party matter and that courts have no business here. But the court, as you've heard Mr. Asogua say, did say Abure's tenure expired and that a vacuum could not be left. Are you saying the party constitution is irrelevant once litigation starts? Did say and that a vacuum could. We're having difficulties connecting with the other side of this conversation. So I'm coming back to you, Mr. Asogua, to just follow up quickly on some of the issues we have raised. You know, what the other camp is saying really is that there was a convention in Inewi, and that was in March 2024, and that convention did extend Abure's tenure. What do you make of that? Because the point you made earlier is that when your tenure expires, you vacate. But what happens if they are saying, we actually had a convention that prolonged his stay in that position?
Nifemi, you see, it is curious that someone is quoting a convention of 2024, and I'm quoting Supreme Court judgment of 2025. April 4, 2025. So the convention had taken place almost 11 months before that judgment. And it was that convention that returned him, that kangaroo, that illegal convention that returned him in Inewi. That was what the Supreme Court invalidated in that judgment. So you can't be quoting a convention that the Supreme Court had already invalidated. Now, coming to the issue of leadership of the party. You see, when Julius Abure's tenure expired, there was a time he attended during Professor Mahmoud Yakubu's leadership of the INEC. In the quarterly meeting that he usually holds with the leaders of political parties, in one of such meetings, Julius Abure attended the meeting and he was thrown out of INEC headquarters. That he was pointedly told that he is not the valid chairman of the Labour Party. And that was when it dawned on all of us that we had a vacuum in the party, and if nothing was done urgently, INEC was going to deregister us. That was when the members of the party, the neck of the party, the highest organ of the party, after the National Convention, sat in Abia State and produced a caretaker committee chairman, a child of necessity, if I should use the word of the court yesterday. They produced a caretaker committee to drive the affairs of the party pending a national convention. And that was the caretaker committee that produced Senator Leonard Usman. So it is not the court that determined that leadership. It is the people that sat, the organ of the party that sat and produced the leadership. You see, Nifemi, let me say something. Because we are at it again. When the Supreme Court gave judgment, these folks changed the narrative. And we shouldn't, and media gave them the voice, the platform to change the narrative, a clear, lucid, unambiguous judgment of the Supreme Court. They changed the narrative and said that Supreme Court did not sack Julius Abure. Now they are back again. We should be careful. There was a judgment yesterday that was completely very direct, very unambiguous, very straightforward, that directed INEC to take a decision. We should be dealing with that. We should be dealing with whether INEC is what is up for us going forward with this decision, not somebody coming to say, I don't know if you read the statement coming out from them. If you see the way they poo-pooed on the judgment of the Nigerian courts yesterday, tongue-lashed the judge, tongue-lashed the judiciary, and this is the same judiciary you're banking on to go on appeal to nullify that judgment, and the same judiciary you poo-pooed on yesterday. So you can understand the kind of character.
I hear you clearly. And I understand your concerns about narrative, but you know, both sides have to be heard because there are at least two sides to a story. What we're hearing, what they're saying is that the Supreme Court said courts cannot appoint party leaders, yet the Federal High Court yesterday ordered INEC to recognize a caretaker committee, and they are saying, is this judicial clarity or judicial confusion?
The court yesterday ordered INEC to recognize a caretaker committee appointed by the party.
All right. Mr. Asogua, your statement earlier also talked about no victor, no vanquished. And you were preaching reconciliation. Is it reconciliation on paper or in reality? Because practically speaking, what does reconciliation look like for the Abure camp? Is it inclusion or submission?
No. Reconciliation is, of course, we are not running a military, this is not a garrison command where you say you must submit to this. Yeah, it's inclusion. You see, the more the merrier. We are all welcoming. You see, we don't believe, this is the difference between us and them. And I'm happy that you quoted from the statement we issued yesterday. We believe that we are an opposition political party. We are not in power. So we need everybody. We need all hands to be on deck so that we can checkmate the activities, put on check the activities of this government that has failed Nigerians. And we can't checkmate the activities of this government when we are bickering inside. So we felt that there is a need for all of us to close ranks, for us to understand how we can go forward from now. So it's not a call for unity that is on the lips of, without us meaning what we are saying. No. If you read the lips of the national chairman yesterday very correctly, she said that this is a no victor, no vanquished situation, and that she's calling on my brothers and sisters. She used the word brothers and sisters. Of course, what are we quarreling about? So if the court has spoken, I believe that we should be gentlemanly enough to throw in the towel.
But
we shouldn't destroy our institutions because it's going against us today. There was a time that Julius Abure had judgment of the High Court, had the judgment of the Court of Appeal, and we were peaceful enough. We were patient enough. We went to the Supreme Court until the Supreme Court now overturned those judgments and said that we are the authentic leadership of the party. But when he held sway, when the Court of Appeal and the High Court gave him judgment, we agreed that he was the leader of the party as at that time. So why is it now that the table has turned, that Julius Abure doesn't want to agree that he is no longer the chairman of the party? He's not the owner of Labour Party. Labour Party was registered as far back as 2003, before he even joined politics. We have produced a couple of leaders of the party before him, and they all served out their tenure and left. Why is he clinging on to power?
Mr. Soga,
the power.
The bottom line is, who calls the shot? Within the Labour Party, can Julius Abure and his loyalists realistically return to leadership positions under this current caretaker arrangement?
He cannot return to leadership position. If leadership position you mean, or you are referring to, means returning as national chairman, he cannot, because the court has said he's not the chairman, and his tenure has elapsed. It is short. It is contempt of court for anyone to make him the chairman, because court has said you are not the chairman. So you are going against the pronouncement of the Nigerian court. If there is any dialogue that suggests that he should be brought back and made chairman, no, I think there is a need for dialogue. There is a need for people to sit on a table. But I think that particular one should be taken off the table, because, like I said, it is criminal for anybody to say he's the chairman now that the court has made some of these pronouncements.
There are huge political implications for this particular challenge that has dragged for so long. Your 2023 presidential candidate has left, and he left with quite a number of heavyweight politicians as well. There are growing claims that these judgments, the ones we've seen in your party and even the PDP, are weakening the opposition ahead of 2027. Is the Labour Party becoming collateral damage in a larger political chess game?
With the departure of Peter Obi?
Exactly. I'm saying, and with all of this back and forth with the judiciary, do you agree that the Labour Party is weaker today than it was some 2 years ago, even ahead of the next election?
I can't close my eyes to the fact that there are challenges here and there within the party. With the departure of our former presidential candidate Peter Obi, yes, it created a void which we are working very seriously to fill. I cannot close my eyes to the fact that there is a problem with internal bickering here and there. People feel aggrieved, yes, but the party is working towards solving so many of these. For example, this judgment has put paid to the issue of internal wrangling over the leadership. So what the voices you're hearing now are just vestiges of anger, which I know that some persons are throwing tantrums. I'm sure in their quiet moments, they will calm down. Now, on the issue of departure of Obi, the party has rolled out a number of activities to be able to absorb that shock. On the 17th of December, we rolled out membership drive where we are expecting to register 10 million new Nigerians into the party. And that exercise is being chaired by the Deputy Governor of Abia State. And it's going on seamlessly very well now. You see, the truth is that every political party is facing challenges in Nigeria. The Labour Party is facing challenges, the PDP, the APC, even when they have the party in power, the president in power, is facing challenges here and there, pockets of problem. Then PDP, as you all know, is almost like it is obliterated completely. So this is not peculiar to Labour Party, but the good enough, our own case is that it's been fixed, and is, I'm sure it's been fixed seamlessly very well. I'm sure we'll come out of this before the next election.
Registering 10 million Nigerians is rather ambitious, though. The APC is ongoing e-registration as we speak. I doubt if they can gather as many as that. But yesterday we heard Senator Usman saying that the party is now stable. But, Peter Obi, your biggest political asset, has moved to the ADC. And there are conversations as to whether or not that completely undermines the claim that this new leadership strengthens the party. But I want to ask you specifically whether or not the Nenadi Usman leadership has reached out to Peter Obi, and would he be welcomed back without conditions if he needs to come back?
No, I see, I'm not here to talk about someone who is not a member of my political party. When Peter Obi left the Labour Party, he did not leave Nicodemusly. He left in broad daylight, where he made the entire Nigerians to know that he was shot. It was broadcast live by national television houses. So he's no longer a member of the Labour Party, and he is in the ADC, like we all know. So I don't want to talk about what he has in his mind. I don't live in his mind to know whether he's making effort or whether he might return to Labour Party in the future. But when we get to that bridge, I'm pretty sure that we'll cross it. But the truth is that every political party throws its door open to everybody. So the Labour Party is open to all Nigerians, irrespective of, creed, background, to come into the party. The more the merrier. So if anybody decides to join us, including our former presidential candidate who has left, if he decides to come back to the party, fine and good. But like I said, I'm not here to determine whether he will come back or not. But I've not seen where political party shuts its door to anybody who says, I want to join your political party. So
I hear you.
It's an all-welcoming affair.
It's difficult, though, to discuss Labour Party without discussing Peter Obi, because you must agree that he brought your party to an unprecedented relevance in the last election, being a major contender in 2023. From your camp's perspective, would you say this crisis pushed him out? And who takes responsibility for that?
You see, yes, Peter Obi has moved on, and Labour Party has actually moved on as well. So I don't want us to be living in the shadows of Peter Obi, because you said that it is difficult to discuss the party without him. You see, he brought fortunes to the party. Yes, no one can doubt that. And we have appreciated that enormously. But we have moved on, and we are moving on very well. We are taking a number of measures to ensure that we absorb the shock of his departure. And those things are happening now. You asked a second question that I'm trying to remember now.
I'm also trying to figure out what you're saying, because as we speak, Labour Party is fractured, it's litigated, it's losing key figures. 2027 is fast approaching. Is your party realistically positioned to contest power? You don't think it's been reduced to a regional protest platform? Realistically, because you are the politician here.
You see, I was on a television house this morning, and a similar question was thrown to me. And I told the people that Labour Party is even stronger today than it was. That it is more positioned, not stronger, rather, that isn't the word I should use. It's even more positioned now to win the presidency than it was positioned in 2023. And this reason is simple. In 2023, the president of Nigeria today, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, wasn't the president. He wasn't tested. Now we have tested him. The test of the pudding is in the eating. We have eaten him and we have seen that he's a colossal failure. So I don't think any Nigerian in his right senses will cast his votes for him. So if I should apply elimination methods, the biggest obstacle we have is APC. And I've just told you that no Nigerian will vote for them. So that is eliminated. So we had hiccups about issues of leadership and all that, which has just been resolved. And we have all the time to rejig our forces before the election. The next available political party in the pack is ADC. And I am pretty sure that the same issues about cohering is a problem with ADC. They are very difficult to cohere. I can assure you that Labour Party today is positioned to win this election, because the more this government throws people into poverty, the more we gain more numbers. And I'm not really, nobody is happy about people being thrown into poverty in Nigeria. In a situation where 139 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor, and you say that they will not embrace the Labour Party. So there's no point running around this issue. The Labour Party stands tall, even taller than it was in 2023 to win this election. And I'm not just saying this flippantly. I am saying this because I know the machineries we have put in place. I know what the party is doing to rejig our forces. And I know that we'll come out of it stronger than we are.
Mr. Asogo, I have never seen a more optimistic individual than you right now. And it is characteristic of Nigerian politicians. Even when something is dying, they say, he's alive, he's alive. It's the most healthy thing ever. But you know what? I'll allow the viewer to judge if they agree with you or not. Let's talk about Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, who was Peter Obi's running mate. He's now declared intention to run as well. But we saw him with Abure the last time. What is his fate with the new leadership structure of the Labour Party?
I don't know what, he's a member of the Labour Party as of today. And we have a leadership that has been, certified, confirmed by the court. So the issue about, I don't think it's a matter of choice for anyone to embrace the leadership. So as long as you are a member of the Labour Party, we have only one chairman, and that person is Senator Nana Usman. So it's not about, and I'm not saying this in reference to His Excellency Yusuf Baba Ahmed. I'm saying this to every member of the Labour Party. So as long as you are a card-carrying member of this party, the leader, the chairman is Senator Nana Usman. So it's not a matter of whether you have a choice to embrace our leadership or not. So that is it.
Your party is bleeding. You have lost your presidential candidate in 2023. He left with some elected members of the National Assembly as well. Quite a number of those who were elected on the platform of this party have also left, even to the ruling party, the APC. Now you're also battling with a major faction that held sway just before yesterday, who are now saying they will appeal the court judgment. We have to go now. In one clear sentence, if you can, why should Nigerians still take the Labour Party seriously as a national alternative?
You see, before I come to that, please, allow me say this. I think I will use my 1 minute to say this. I need to urge INEC not to tarry in obeying the judgment that has just been delivered yesterday. INEC is a responsible institution. INEC is a friend of the Nigerian court. INEC, I know, cannot join Julius Abure in this madness. INEC cannot throw the judgment of Nigerian court under the bus. And I know that INEC will respect this judgment and recognize Senator Nana Usman as the chairman of the Labour Party, as directed by the court. Now, the Nigerian people should trust the Labour Party, because what we are bringing to the table is different from what this government has thrown more than 139 million Nigerians into multidimensional poverty. Labour Party is telling you, we have a mantra that says that we want to take Nigerians from consumption to production. So no other political party in Nigeria speaks in that manner. So
Okay.
they should be. So Nigerian people should trust us because we are bringing what this government is
All
not
right.
bringing. That's what we are bringing to the table.
That's our time. Ken Asogwa, Senior Special Advisor on Media to Senator Nenadi Usman. It's 2026 pre-election year. We're going to have more conversations and we're going to fact-check some of the claims we've made today. I'm sure we'll return to have this conversation again. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Nifemi. Have a lovely day.
That's our show today. Remember, you can watch it again at midnight and 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Ogutoye.